Hi everyone, Nella here. So Isaac and Horu are going through a little bit of a change right now. I'll start with Isaac. I've actually mostly wiped his face up off because I didn't like how it looked. So he just has a little bit of stuff around his eyes and a bit of, Isaac, and paint in his mouth so you can still see his teeth. His little clucking neck. He does that sometimes. Anyway, but one of the changes is as much as I like Isaac's red eyes, I feel like they really, I feel like they really do work better for Little Chaos, the pure chaos form. Mostly because, oh my gosh, Isaac, stop flicking your neck. Mostly because, as you can tell, they're quite dark in his eye wells. Just because his eye wells are kind of a strange shape, and his eyes are obviously not very wide. So they pretty much look black. They don't really show up, and I really don't like that because his eyes are supposed to be quite striking. So right now I've put one of Horu's sort of blind eyes in him, just to see how that looks, and right now I'm actually preferring that. Isaac was supposed to have red eyes, but the blue eyes also would work in character. There we go. Because this form of Isaac is actually supposed to look kind of sick, look kind of dead compared to how he looked as a human. And that's just because the human Isaac, I'm not going to say died, but the human Isaac was kind of fused with and tempered the chaotic spirit that took over his body. And in the process of that, his formerly dark brown skin essentially like bleaches out to bone white. And his hair changes and his eyes also change. So having them be like the pale blue, it's kind of death. Kind of like a dead eye, does make sense because the human Isaac is dead and the current Isaac is a fusion between the chaotic spirit and pretty much what is left of the human Isaac, which is actually really sad now that I think about it. So I try not to think about it, which is fine because the only character in their family of Noah, Isaac, and Horu, the only one who actually kind of has any sort of semblance or any sort of knowledge of that and what happened to human Isaac to turn him into the current Isaac is Noah. And Noah never actually knew the human Isaac, so that's fine. That's all peachy. The second change is with Horu. And that's because I've decided that as cool as Horu's blue eyes look in her, I didn't like how dead they made her look. She's supposed to be very creepy. Like there's no getting around that. She's supposed to be very creepy. But I didn't feel like it was quite the right sort of creepy. And that's when I found the eyes I had bought for Lottie. As you can see, if this focuses back in on her, are purple with red pupils. See if I can hold her still and see if they focus for once. Focus. Focus. Okay, it's not focusing, but you get the idea. So yeah, I'm thinking Horu is going to get these purple and red eyes, and Isaac will get the creepy blue eyes. And the other thing actually does involve Horu, because yesterday and last night, I actually came up with a few things from her story. Basically, I don't think I mentioned that much about Horu's story because she doesn't have a super in-depth one, and she actually doesn't have that much of a past or much of a memory of her past, such as it exists. And one of the things that I knew was that she lived in the city of Wei, and that's when Li Shuang and Sujin find her and kind of take care of her for a while, and then contact Miss Celeste at the Curiosity Shop, who gets Noah to come and adopt her. And I wasn't sure if she was born in the city of Wei as the spirit of super specific horror that she is, or if she somehow arrived to the city and then became a spirit of horror. Because that is something that happens in the city of Wei, is that it actually, if you live in it for lengthy periods of time, which pretty much you do unless you get killed very quickly, the city will kind of make you adapt and change to either suit your personality, suit your strengths, or just to be able to survive. That is part of the horror of the city that Sujin faces, is realizing that she is being changed by it, but also realizing that her mind is also being changed a little bit. So it sometimes takes a little while to recognize that something is, that something's different. So from that, I was thinking, well, maybe Horu somehow got to the city, and then, as the city does, she couldn't escape, and then she was able to live for long enough that the city kind of remade her, and that she became a spirit of horror. And I have decided that that is what happened. I don't know much about who she was before she was Horu, but I do have a name. And that name, there we go. That name is Hitomi Takahashi. So she is supposed to be from the person who becomes Horu was originally from Japan. And I was actually kind of struggling with her name because the last name came first. I went like, okay, her last name is Takahashi. I know that. And then I was thinking of her first name, and I went, it's Hitomi. And then I went, no, I went like, no, that, I don't think that's right. And part of the reason why I wasn't sure that that was right is because, well, it's not obvious right now how she's dressed, and by the fact that I'm referring to her using female pronouns, but Horu does have a male body. That's how the doll arrived to me, and as strange as it sounds, like that has now become part of Horu, that she is male-bodied, female-identified. So I was really worried because in my mind I thought that Hitomi was exclusively a girl's name, and I wasn't sure that I wanted to do that. So I decided to look it up, and it turns out it's actually a name that can be used for both males and females, so it fits perfectly. I shouldn't have double guessed myself. The exact same thing happened with Nagisa. The name that I thought when I looked at her was, her name is Nagisa. Or rather, at the time it was, her name is Nagisa. And then I went like, no, that isn't going to be right. And then I looked it up and it actually did have a meaning that made sense for what I was looking for. So obviously ignore this I, but this is Hitomi Takahashi, partway through her life in the city of Wei. And I actually do like how she looks with the darker hair. She might make a few appearances as Hitomi, or even just maybe having a wig or something. Sometimes that's a natural color. Though I should say, as far as Horu is concerned, the pink is her natural hair color. She does not have a memory of not having pink hair. Which, once again, kind of like with Isaac, is more than a little sad. And it's kind of completely by accident that these two have ended up having that aspect in common, that they were someone else before they became what they are now. And originally the only tie between them was that, they're both kind of personifications / embodiments of kind of abstract concepts, and that they both got adopted by Noah. But I kind of like now that they have that sort of forgotten past in common. So yeah, that's everything. So yes, I'm going to fully switch the eyes out now. Oh, and I thought I'd show you Horu's full outfit. My original idea for going to the doll meet, because I have a doll meet tonight, in the afternoon, which I'm super excited for. My original idea was that my dolls were going to be in the basket of my bicycle, because I have an awesome bike now. However, it has been raining on and off, but that just kind of gives you an idea of why they're dressed so unsummery-like, because it's wet, and it's raining, and it's, not super hot out. Yeah. Wait, look. I didn't realize I'm wearing pastels, and it sort of matches Horu's hair. Accidental matching. Okay, that's everything. I am going to go and get those eyes switched now, so bye everyone.